So over the weekend, we are able to see a video that popped up on my timeline, and want to give credit to these guys. Actually, the first time that I've seen them come across my timeline, but I was able to watch the full interview they had. So KSL Sports, which I believe is a Salt Lake area based podcast. Shout out to Ben Anderson and his co-host. I'm sorry that I wasn't able to see his co-host's Twitter name, but Ben Anderson of KSL Sports and his co-host had a really good interview with Utah Jazz guard Keyonte George, who I guess before I get into this quote, Dion, I never asked you, what are your thoughts on Keyonte George?
Uh, he's okay. He's
Okay.
all right. He's all
You're,
right. Like
you're,
I
you're
feel
you're
like
the
people.
NBA, you're the NBA guy of the pod, so I had to ask.
He's all right. Like he's one of those players. Like he will play a long time on really really bad teams. Like he one day he's gonna make a phenomenal Washington Wizard, and like he's gonna be sick on the Wizards. I don't believe, in my honest opinion, I don't believe he plays winning basketball, but I do believe he plays good basketball. If that makes sense.
Got you. All right. Look, as Greg calls him, Kid Gorgeous, or called him at Baylor, Keontae George is a very exciting player, the way he can score the ball, athleticism, all that, right? So, had an interview with KSL Sports, who, like I said, Utah sports leader, according to their Twitter bio. They cover Jazz, BYU, all that, basically. Utah, anything Utah sports. Keontae George, they asked him if basically he was at a BYU practice and was he able to play against AJ Dybantsa? He's like, no, I didn't get to play against him, but he did have some other things to say. So I'll go ahead and play the clip for y'all.
I just went up there for the BYU practice.
Have you played against AJ Dybantsa? You guys,
I have
you read
not.
yet?
I have not. I have not. But I will say at his practice, yeah, probably one of the most crazy dunks I've seen in a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What happened?
I won't say too much, but somebody jumped. The ball, he went off too, but the ball like crazy, and then he dunked it. And I looked at Walt next to me, and I was like, if you ever get him, he gonna be like that.
Huh.
I just went up there for
Somebody jumps. Whoever gets him, he gonna be like that. Dion, the floor is yours.
Yeah, okay. First off, I do want to say this. We know AJ Dybantsa is going to be like that. Generational player, special talent. Everything he does is electric. Keontae George, seeing him dunk the ball once and saying he's going to be like that is why I said everything about Keontae George in the beginning of this. It wasn't like, yo, he made a great pass. He does all the right things. Like, yo, somebody jumped and he dunked it. Josh Smith did that a lot too. You know, JL Green did that a lot too. But like, I think AJ Dybantsa is truly going to be like that, and it's not because he could dunk, do the dunky dunk stuff like Cohen Carr. Like, he is extremely skilled in everything he does, and then his raw athleticism is just like an add-on, if that makes sense. And it's just it's going to be special to watch. I personally believe he's the best player in this class. I also think he would have been the best player in the previous class too. And I'm not trying to be disrespectful to Cooper Flag, but I think that's how talented AJ Dybantsa is. That 2028 Olympic team, he's made that his goal. I do believe AJ Dybantsa is going to be on that 28 Olympic team.
Dion, how's your job going?
Beginning of the school year, everything's like a little up and down. One of the biggest issues we've had is we can't find any uniforms for our girls' sports teams.
Mm, that's a difficult thing to find a solution for. I know damn well all about that because I got a daughter that just turned 2. She's into sports and she's already outgrowing every little piece of sports apparel she had. Thankfully, I know Clara K Creations. Clara K Creations was started by a former high school teacher who quit because it wasn't cost effective to send new twins and a 2-year-old to daycare. She found it easier to make girls' sports apparel than finding it to buy. And I am so thankful that she exists because if we have an old shirt of Murph's that she's outgrown, we can send it in and she takes that piece of apparel that means something and upcycles it into an outfit that Murphy can now wear as she grows up. She makes great stuff. It's honestly kind of like your fullback's wife, Kyle Juszczyk. Is that how you say it? She does that. But honestly, I think Clara Kate's coming for Mrs. Juszczyk's job.
I love that. I'm a big Juice guy, love his wife. Love Claire Kate even more than both of them, though.
You can send in your own custom ideas and she will come up with a design. She's just the best. Look up Clara K Creations on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and more.
Yeah. Also, I need footage because if this was at practice, then this is on footage, and I need to see it. But that's why AJ Dybantsa, a great teammate. Not gonna put that out there. He's gonna put out YouTube videos of him playing horse to get a ice bucket or cake put in your face. But we're not gonna embarrass our teammates and what you did to them by punching on them. But look, I think we all know AJ Dybantsa is one of the more talented players in this class, and like when it comes to physical gifts, like at the end, like I feel like sometimes it gets lost, a couple things get lost in translation when talking about Purdue, right? And just talking about freshmen in general. AJ Dybantsa is this 6'8" super uber athletic wing guard that can get his, and then like if you let him get past you, he's going to punch on you. I've seen like if you go look back at what AJ Dybantsa was doing in high school, I'm not saying it's going to translate like it did in high school, but this is a guy that was windmilling on people. He was putting it on people's heads all the time. Like he has that type of athleticism, that type of ability. And I'm not surprised that Keyonte George noticed that right away at this practice. And also, I take away from this that Keyonte George and Walter Clayton were attending a BYU practice. They weren't attending no Utah practice. You want to know why? Because BYU football is undefeated right now, and BYU basketball is up, and KY is one of them guys. So it's good to see that, I think that Keontae George and crew are able to see the type of athleticism that AJ Dybantsa has, and I don't think anyone questions the type of athlete that Dybantsa is, right?
No, and I think it's like one of those things where like I also believe that AJ is he would define himself differently than I'm just a freak athlete. But it is really cool that Keyonte George went to a BYU practice. I think you're going to see more NBA guys at BYU practices throughout the year too, because that is the AJ Dybantsa effect. Like he, in my, if BYU is as good as I think they are, he's going to have like a marketing entertainment impact that's going to be similar to what Steph had his final year at Davidson, where it's like, yo, Steph's in town. I don't care that I have a game tomorrow. I'm going to MSG to watch Steph. Ron literally flew on the PJ to watch Steph play, or like Blake Griffin had at Oklahoma. Where NBA guys are going to flock to BYU games. So I think it's going to have a major impact. Shout out Keyonte George for being the first one there. Also, there's more to the game than dunking Keyonte.
Yeah. But dunks are fun, Dion.
Dunks are very fun, though. Dunks
Dunks
are
are
definitely very
dunks are very, very fun. But shout out to KSL Sports, like I said, for this interview. Shout out to Keontae George for buying into the Provo hype. I think to your point, there's going to be a lot of you obviously with KY with the NBA connections, AJ Dybon. So how good this team is going to be, I think you will see a little bit of effect of like people are going to flock to this. They're going to be, how they used to say like honestly, Keontae George and them are probably sick because you remember like Michael Irvin and them used to be like, yeah, we were bigger than the Dolphins when the U was good.
Wait, they were bigger than they were bigger than the undefeated Dolphins?
No, because they weren't undefeated when Michael Irvin and them played. This was like the 90s.
Yeah, but you said Michael Irvin, they were bigger than the Dolphins? What was the
No,
what?
because like in that ESPN 30 for 30, the Miami Hurricanes won. They're like, oh, we're the biggest team in the city. Like we were getting at the front of every club while the Dolphins were waiting in line.
In my head, Michael Irvin's a cowboy. That's hand up.
Yeah,
Hand up.
sorry, that's
That's hand
probably
up.
on me. I could have described that one a little bit better. But what I'm saying is that this is what I'm saying with all due respect to Utah and everyone else, like shit's going through Provo this year. Like that's what people are tuning in for.
No, straight up. I promise you BYU's already bigger than the Utah Jazz, who, by the way, found out yesterday Kevin Love is on the Utah Jazz.
Yeah, Kyle Anderson's on the Jazz as well.
AJ Dybantsa could start on the Utah Jazz next year.
He probably could. He
So
did,
could Rob Wright,
and,
actually.
and he might. Don't get it twisted. No, things fall correctly. He really might. But yeah, it goes BYU Cougars, Mom Talk from the Secret Life of the Mormons, Utah, Utah football. Actually, no, BYU football. My apologies. Put them ahead of Mom Talk, and then somewhere around there. But let it be known, BYU basketball, KY are number one, and this is the first of many quotes I think we'll get from NBA players about this team.